Big ups, everybody in the house. It is time for the Tottenham preview. Hope everybody is doing well in the building. Wolfgang Division, very early comment, placed quite a while ago, but big ups to Mandem there. Make sure we are smashing them likes up. As well as Football Bounce channel as well. Big ups to Abs, a fantastic show that we were just on over on Jez's channel, Arsenal the History and More. Make sure to go drop him a subscription if you haven't done so already. He's on the road to 5k over there and all of that good stuff. Hence why I'm a little bit late on my end of things, but our guest is my other guest who lives in the land down under. He's basically had to set a wake up alarm for the stream, so of course there will be some other delays probable in those cases there. So he'll be joining us very soon, I'm sure. Just needs to probably wake himself up and grab himself a bit of breakfast or something. But once he is here, we will get into the nitty gritty of this game on Sunday. Unprofessional, remove some money from the brown envelopes. Man, I don't even own any brown envelopes. I've only got white envelopes yet. The big ups to you, man. Make sure you also do like and subscribe on Longhaired Yeti's content and channel and all of that good stuff. Here we are. How we doing, man? Big ups to you.
How you doing?
Good morning. Getting off sleep?
Yeah, woke up. Absolute limbs trying to get on. I was like 40 minutes. Wait, no, I was 20 minutes late. Yeah, I was 20 minutes late.
It's 15 minutes from my end. Yeah, a bit of a weird one with time zones, trying to make timings work between all the way over in Europe and then right the way down the other end of the planet in Australia. I'm assuming it's Australia, not New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. So, making his debut, of course, kudos. Welcome to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me for this preview. It's going to be an interesting game, to say the least. A very interesting game, given the current circumstances for both of our teams going into this. AFCON's happening. I believe if it's the Asian Cup trophy as well, that's going on. I don't know if that's currently sort of going in at the same time as AFCON, which I think he is. So a lot of missing names, a lot of missing faces, but you're not going to be the only person making their debut on a United or Manchester United setting in this sort of scenario. You've got Mr. Timo Werner. Hopefully he doesn't miss the Old Trafford pitch and end up accidentally walking into the crowd, into the stands. He's just trying to find his way onto the Old Trafford, onto the carpet that is Old Trafford. But going to start with taking a bit of a delve back to the previous game, where we travelled to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 2-0 over there. First half felt like it was a bit of a neck and neck type of affair. United big chances missed, which turns out it's been a common theme for us over this season. And then second half, you actually took advantage of the situation, took the cherries, and happy days. Ended up walking out there with 3 points. And what was your take on that? On the previous game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, you just went at the races, were you? I mean, yeah, it was a pretty easy affair. There really wasn't much in the way of a threat from United. You were I'd say you're actually better now than you were then. So I'm more worried about this fixture than I was. I'm not. I think your Old Trafford record is worse than your away record. I don't remember correctly. Is that correct?
I'm pretty sure we're actually quite even Stevens with our
Oh, so
away
you're
and home
okay. So
records.
you're equally as shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, but I think I think this fixture is going to be a lot harder than it was at away. At home, it was for us. So,
Mm,
but yeah, uh, in terms of your quality, I think the quality. Yeah, as you said, it is even Steven home and away. So, but I think the Old Trafford crowd, they will be behind this game. They will be. Um, I think it's going to be very, very difficult for us. I don't think it's going to be a steamroll like people think it is.
mm,
I really don't think it is going to be a steamroll. It's going to be a really tough game. It may be high scoring. You know, we do have a new centre back in, as you may know. We do have Timo Werner in. I really don't think any of them are going to hit the ground running. If I'm honest, I think Dragosin may actually start on the bench.
mm,
So yeah, with Ben Davies out now, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the team lineup is because it is very dependent on team lineup.
mm.
Don't get it twisted. It is because if we put on two fullbacks again, God knows who the other. We might have to put like I don't even know. Like we're so threadbare that I don't even know. We're going to have to put Dorrington or something. I have no
Mm.
idea. But so yeah, Dragosin has to play in that case. I really don't
Mm.
see any other option than Dragosin playing. I'm pretty sure he's up to speed, but yeah, we'll see on the day.
Good stuff, good stuff. And it's to Early Doors Football TV as well. Another person that was on the on Jez's show. Massive, massive panel for that show, but it was an absolute banger. So if you haven't had the chance to watch it already, do make sure to go back and watch that on playback. Honestly, fantastic show. Um, but speaking of the injuries, we've got a segment for that a little bit later on. First and foremost, we're going to sort of delve into the seasons thus far for both of our respective teams. We'll start with you as guest of honour for the stream. Tottenham season very much had its peak ups as well as its peak downs. Where so thus far would you rate this season for Tottenham?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Nothing to really complain about, if I'm honest. Yeah, we've had a rough patch. 5 games without a win, but we seem to have turned the corner. And yeah, we're winning the league. Yeah, but yeah, it is really smooth sailing at the moment. Hopefully, it continues, and I really, really think that with these additions that we can kick on and hopefully make go either get a semi-final in the FA Cup or go to the final in the FA Cup. Hopefully we can end the trophy drought, but I'm not really holding my breath for that. I still have my reservations. I know how this team can be,
Mm,
and it is sort of a head and heart conflict where I really want this team to finally with my heart to actually lift something,
mm,
whilst also trying to realize in my head that literally anything and the world of nature is against us. Anything can completely derail our season, and that is a very scary prospect, but I'm really hoping just that we can ride this momentum and hopefully finishing with something, because I don't believe in all the process crap and all that. I really do think that we can win this FA Cup in our first season if we combine that luck with our own quality, and I do think that is possible. However, yeah, like I said, the head and the heart thing. My head does say that the universe is against us in some way as a Spurs supporter. So, see.
yeah, I mean the football gods. The term Spursy doesn't exist without a reason. It's
Mm.
one of those things that. history depicts that ultimate bottling is you see the logo of Tottenham Hotspur, the chicken on top of the basketball, just in your peripheral vision.
Chicken
But
on a bus.
well, it's more or less like it looks more or less like that. But even still, um, yeah. I mean, in Tottenham's case, I mean, this season for me, it feels like it started off really well. The problems that it started to occur was when I think perhaps the depth of your squad had to be tested, and I think with the drop off in your quality, you don't see the same sort of execution for a game plan with rotation players as much as you do with the first team, because it's usually in the first season for a manager, it's the first team that really gets the ball rolling first, and everybody else sort of catches up over time. And with this initial wave of injuries, like James Maddison hitting the injury table, Mickey van der Ven, which I believe is actually, I don't know if he's fully fit for this game on Sunday,
I
but
think
I
it's
think
borderline. It could
mm,
just be because the player's saying is fully fit, but I'm not really sure. Ange says, I think Ange did say in his press conference, like, don't listen to any players. Like, he's going to make the final decision. So we'll see. I think it's close. It's definitely close though. So
mm,
I think you can read into that. But
yeah, and I think it's a fair thing, because I mean, even if Mickey van der Ven doesn't start this game and he just sits on the bench for now, and perhaps he gets subbed on just to get a bit more minutes in the legs, just as to managing him back into the team, just so you can guarantee that he's going to be available for longer, rather than looking at this game and thinking, oh my god, we've desperately got to get this person back now, getting back now, and then he ends up tweaking an injury again and spending more time on the injury table. The last thing you want is to start sending players back onto the injury table when they've just come back. And someone like a Mickey van der Ven, that's not really a player you can afford to, keep constantly having out. It's like Lissandro Martinez. If he comes back, he's training. He's been training for the past week and a half. He might. I think he's definitely being kept out of the match day squads for the meantime. But it's just with how wretched both of our injury records have been this season. It's absolutely madness, absolute madness.
hmm.
But with the FA Cup talk, this is an interesting one, because Ange Postecoglou, first time he was met with a cup competition being the EFL Cup, I think it was literally the first round against
Yeah, it
Fulham,
was.
and bit of I think he rotated quite extensively, and I think perhaps it was a bit too much of a rotation, um, and ended up costing you an early chance at competing for the trophy. Look, especially fast forward to now, you look at the teams that are left in it. You've got Liverpool, Chelsea, Middlesbrough, and Fulham, the team that knocked you out initially. So you would have probably ended up meeting Liverpool, which I'll tell you what would have made a very interesting Carabao Cup semi-final with Tottenham versus Liverpool, both home and away. I think it is definitely a worthy mindset to approach. Looking at the FA Cup, I mean, under Ange Postecoglou, you look at an Eric Ten Hag, in his first season was able to win a trophy, or, albeit that it was the Carabao Cup, it's still a trophy in your first season, especially after what you'd inherited before. Look at Ange Postecoglou, he's got some, lesser than ideal players as squad talent, but there's other good players in there, some big moment players, you could say, to get your results across the line in cup formats, and get you quite deep into this competition, if not go for the win. And I think it's just one of those where whichever team it is you face up against, back yourselves to win. Take it to the next stage, and every stage you go through, just keep going all the way until the final, and see how things go. And I think it's there to be won for Ange Postecoglou. He's in only two competitions. He doesn't have the worry of Europe going on the sidelines as well. So it's an ideal focus for someone like an Ange Postecoglou, especially with the sort of team that he's got, with the depth that he has. Um, I think with your quality, you've got more than enough quality to put together a good run in the FA Cup. So I think it's absolutely
Yeah, I think we've got Man City next as well, so we know how we are against City.
mm,
So hopefully that the juju works. It has faltered at some time. The juju has faltered, if I'm honest.
mm.
So, but they haven't scored a goal at our stadium yet. So I do see us going to the next round. Fingers crossed. But yeah, obviously this is Tottenham. Anything can happen. We're allergic to trophies, as everyone says. So yeah, we'll take it one game at a time.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Flipping the coin to the other side of the coin, Manchester United. My oh my oh my! This season has literally been a coin toss. Every single game is just a coin toss. Heads, tails, and Eric Ten Hag keeps going picking tails because tails never fails, right? And literally the coin keeps landing on heads half the time, and it's literally just you win a game, you lose a game, then you win a game again, you lose a game again, you win a game again. The positive slash negatives that we've got for United going into this game specifically is that the good thing is that we won our FA Cup game last time out. We won the FA Cup game. Fantastic. We're through to the next round. The problem is we've won a game. What does that mean for this game? We're due a loss. We're due a loss. The season is written into the scripture, fine print. Everywhere you look, it's just L's everywhere. Manchester United L's. That's the forecast for us on Sunday. Hopefully, fingers crossed that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is going to wave his own form of juju on the pitch. He's going to go touch up the goalposts. He's going to start rubbing up the goalposts behind where Vicario is going to be standing in the first half. He's going to be like, I cast juju on these goalposts that every shot that Manchester United have actually goes in and not into Rose Ed. It doesn't you don't have Garnacho or Anthony trying to kick the ball towards the goal and see it land in the Etihad Stadium across town. Like if we can actually take chances this time around, I mean, we need it now more than ever because we can create a lot of chances as a game we've seen, but actually converting those chances is a big issue, and that has been a very common case for United this season. And interesting where you said that we are better now than we were at the start of the season. I'll say that there is an agreement to various extents with that, being that we're perhaps a little less open. Teams are less direct through our midfield. But even so, I mean, where we've perhaps fixed up on the defensive aspect of of the team to a certain extent, the attacking side of it is still very, very lackluster. And I suppose usually I would sit here and I would say, oh, it's going to be an interesting one because Tottenham's defence is going to be weaker, right? No Christian Romero, no sign of potentially no sign of Mickey van der Ven. Dragusin's probably not fully up to match day fitness, or Eric Dyer. He's gone off to Bayern Munich now. God only knows how he's managed that. Ben Davis is now on the injury
No, that's
table.
advantage to us, Dyer, going into Bayern Munich. So
Well, to be fair, that is true. That is true. It'll be like Harry Maguire getting a move to Real Madrid, but swings and roundabouts. But for me, this game, even with a lackluster or a less than impressive Tottenham lineup, I don't really back this Manchester United attack to actually break anything set up down. I suppose where I say that I don't back us to break your defence down, the biggest problem for you, I suppose, is that you're very stubborn to play a high line, and Aston Villa is a very solid case study that if you are not constantly on the front foot with that high line, you're susceptible to punishment from us if you, because playing against high lines, we're actually somewhat decent against teams that play high lines. And I think that's going to be a big talking point for this game. Is Ange Postecoglou? We all know he's very stubborn with his team selection or how he plays. Very, very stubborn. As is Ten Hag. Whether this time around it's going to be the case that Ange Postecoglou tries to implement his style and cannot quite get something to stick, I think it's going to be an interesting conversation to have. I mean, our attack that can't hit the ocean, even if they were stuck on a sinking ship. Meanwhile, Ange Postecoglou, high line, could probably open the door for us and say, "Here you go, have some free shots." He still probably would struggle to score. But speaking of struggling to score, Timo Werner, Richarlison, you haven't quite got a Heung-min Son up top to
Yeah,
give
it's
you a
going to be
bit of clinicality. What what would you say is an ideal selection of players if you want to get some good conversion rate going?
I mean, it's slim pickings at the moment. I think Son gone, we are going to be a bit toothless up front, but I do still think we can fashion something. But we're really going to have to, carve it out and basically make a shit out of it. But yeah, I think Brennan Johnson on the left, or rather, I think he does have to play on the right because that's Timo's position, I guess now. I think Timo will start. I don't really see any reason why he wouldn't on the left. And Richarlison up front, Brennan on the right, and Kulu hopefully in the midfield. And yeah, we're just going to have to do our absolute best to try to fashion something out of nothing with Son there and with Madison out. And that's what we've been doing successfully for the most part ever since Madison's absence in that horrific Chelsea game. So, if it's gonna very much be touch and go this game, your pace in behind is going to be a very, very big problem, especially if Rashford plays and Garnacho and whatnot. I do think Rashford will be selected for this game. I think Ten Hag will see the vulnerabilities in our defense and say, go have a run about, at whoever is playing in that position, or try to get in behind. Just run in a straight line. Just run in a straight line and get to the goal with the ball at your feet and just try to hit the net. Like that's what he's probably saying to him before the game, or in whenever the team talk is.
Mhm.
So that is going to be a big problem, and we do have to neutralize that. And that usually wouldn't be a problem if we had Mickey van der Ven, because he is absolutely lightning, and he will be able to catch Rashford. He'll probably be able to beat Rashford in a foot race, and he'll be able to snuff anything out. Other than that, I do think we will choke you in your own half. I really do think we will have the bulk of the possession. Not by much, and it won't be a landslide, but I do think we will have most of it. And you're going to have to be clinical. I really do think you're going to have to be clinical. And that is something you're not very good at, unfortunately. So.
Well, I'll tell you what. First and foremost, big ups to Anthony Herbert as well. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. In terms of possession, usually your midfield does play quite a substantial part in the essence of having control. You're not going to have Basuma available. You're not going to have Papis Matassar available.
Yeah,
I suppose your best options you've got available for Sunday is Bentancur and I think it's Oliver Skip.
Yeah, Skip. I don't think Højbjerg is going to play. He's on his way out. Yeah. So, yeah, that is a point of contention. However, I do think we have played, a similar midfield throughout ever since Madison's absence, and we have been okay. So it's not really especially with Kulu in there. I think Kulu is a midfielder anyway, if you ask me, and I think most people would agree from our fan base. So I'm not too worried about that. We also have Lascelles. Oh wait, I think he's injured. I'm really not sure. I think he probably is injured. Knowing him, it's cheese string, hamstring, or something. He's always got
a thigh injury, same as Ben Davis, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, that is going to be difficult. I hit Casemiro's out for you guys though. So
He is, yeah, he's still out. He's at the same stage as Lissandro Martinez because they both started training at the same time. So I think they're both training and training well, but it's just I think it's the case that Ten Hag's like, well, no, I don't want to risk these guys because between now and the end of the season, it's going to be absolutely important that I have good availability because injuries has been such a massive issue for both of our teams thus far this season. Um, your injuries come to very key players, players that have made Andrew's system tick and have good show good efficiency. Ten Hag is missing key players as to big name players that just can carry a result and can carry a performance. It's not so much a system because nobody really bloody knows what his system is, full stop. So we're all sort of playing a bit of where's Wally in terms of trying to find where Ten Hag's play style is. So we're we've both been dealt with hammer blow cards this season, and I suppose in various cases as far as injuries go with Ten Hag, I think it's just perhaps it's fixture congestion. We played very deep in 4 competitions last season, and very very congested schedule. Not an awful lot of rotation. I think a lot of the players quite a short turnaround for pre-season warm-ups as well. A very very congested schedule for pre-season, and I think there's elements of that being a case that perhaps United players have been injured. Maybe a little bit of players not really fancying it, so they pick up little knocks and sit on the injury table for a little while and things like that. I think for Tottenham Hotspur, I think Ange Postecoglou, you've gone from playing defensive football for about 6 years, 6 to 8 years or something, to now playing a very high pressing, high intensity, attacking style of football. The levels have probably changed in all aspects of training. I think it's quite understandable that there would be a few bigger injuries to some players here or there. Would you say that's about right, or do you believe that it's down to something else with Tottenham's
well, I've
injuries?
recently heard that apparently Ange had a lot of these injuries at Celtic. So yeah, I think it is part and parcel. But I also think I look back and I see our medical team has been a shambles for a very long time. And I do think we
Mm,
could have mitigated the situation to an extent and controlled it a lot better than we have.
mm,
And yeah, it's hard to tell, isn't it? But
mm,
I, th- I think it is very, very much the play style. I think that the stop start, and I think VAR actually has a hand to it, as crazy as it sounds, because the stop start nature of the game nowadays is not conducive to keeping healthy muscles. Unfortunately, that's just the
mm,
way it is now. So yeah, it is a very taxing play style. It is high risk, high reward in many facets, but
mm,
I think it is a you have to blame the medical team to an extent because they're rushing back players
mm.
very very quickly a lot of the times. They haven't really done it that much this season, but throughout the years they have, and that's obviously down to our squad depth because we've
Yeah.
we've only ever been first team FC. We've never had a squad, as far as I'm concerned, at least in recent years. Um, yeah,
Mm. Well, yeah. I think again, you talk about small squads, whether that's the case of it being by design, because we talk about Ange Postecoglou. You ask him, where does he get his play style from? I mean, the guy joked about it, saying, "No, I'll just copy Pep." He probably actually does base a lot of what his methods are based around what Pep does with his team handling in terms of player management, how he structures his squads, because there's a lot of this modern style of team where you only get a very small selection of players that really feature in the first team picture, and that if there are injury crises, you do get hampered quite substantially. Even Manchester City this season, we've seen drop-offs from them when they've encountered big injuries. Kevin De Bruyne going out, Rodri getting suspensions, games he missed out. Manchester City, their midfield wasn't looking very hot at all. Struggling to even create more than a couple of chances. For example, against Aston Villa, I think they had like two shots, barring on target or not, two shots for a whole 90 minutes. And that was against Aston Villa. That's a highline team themselves. So usually you would have thought, well, bloody hell, what's going on with that? I think it's just the way that modern, management seems to be going nowadays as to how people want to build teams. Where football, you're getting more and more games to play, but the squads are just getting thinner and thinner and thinner. And how people choose to set up their teams after that, I think it's just anyone's guess as to whether people are starting to get a bit more silly with it, rather than being a bit more old school and a bit more reliable. Just the old reliable approaches to football sometimes I think is probably the better option to go with, but everyone's trying to innovate nowadays. Big ups to Ravi Beat Carry. Big ups to you, man. Question: Will Mason Money Mount make it long term? No
He hasn't
idea.
even made it short term.
I doubt he's even really made it to Old Trafford. Full stop. I mean, he's pretty much. It's like he drove from Carrington to Old Trafford. His car broke down halfway between, and his car's not been fixed ever since. He's still sat there. He's still on the way. He's still travelling to match day at Old Trafford. But I mean, with United, the players that we're set to sell, players that are on the chopping block, players that we're planning to get rid of, Mason Mount, I don't think this board. I mean, British player, Sergeant Ratcliffe, and Sir Dave Brailsford, British owners coming in. I doubt they're going to look at Mason Mount and go, yeah, we're going to sell him. They're probably going to, nah, we're going to keep you around. Yeah, we'll put an arm around you. Come into our office, come have a cuppa with us whilst we
But
watch
to be fair,
everybody else.
PR is elite.
Well, Mason Mount is literally probably the biggest PR signing that United have had for a long, long time. I mean, the fact that he was given the number 7 shirt and was hailed as a marquee signing, but how crap he's been ever since. Everyone sort of dropped that talk very, very quick. he's disappeared. He's just another face that occasionally makes it into your news feeds saying, "Oh, look, Mason Mount's back." A lot of people were wondering, wait, yeah, we actually signed Mason Mount. Jesus Christ, didn't even know they played for us. It's still people like genuinely a bit confused as to Mason Mount just appearing in a United shop. It's like, what's going on here? Why is he here? Question: How do United break Spurs down and avoid getting caught out?
I think
I
that's
mean,
more for us to answer, really, if I'm
mm,
honest. But
well, I'll give my verdict of the answer, and then you can answer this question as well afterwards. How we break Spurs down, first and foremost, whip out them prayer mats in the Old Trafford dressing room, right? Pray to Allah, pray to God, pray to whoever, right? If you all got necklaces, make sure that they got the cross and got Christ sat on the front of them, right? And when you go out there, pray, just pray. And when you see the goal, don't think that you've got to shoot. Don't think you've got to empty the clip, right? Don't empty the mag. Just get a little bit closer, be a bit more sensible, assess your options, and make the right decision. You've got enough time to also get your execution right. Stop panicking and actually get the final third stuff more on target. If you get more on target, because I mean Vicario, listen, even if a bad goalkeeper, they won't get challenged much. So you've got to do an awful lot more if you're going to challenge a good goalkeeper and beat him. And Vicario, he's probably thinking, "Oh, I might have my work cut out for me, but I'm ready for it." Don't know what you think about that question. If you want to give your answer to that.
I mean, I do think, since obviously the game can roll around, I can be completely wrong. United dominate us, and we have to play on the break. But I think the question is more oriented towards what is more likely to happen, which is Spurs have the, you know, bulk of the possession, and we try to break Manchester United down. And yeah, that is going to be a very, very, I wouldn't say it's difficult, but it's going to be a conundrum for us because when it comes to our midfields, and this is a point I want to touch on, our midfields right now, I would say are very similar in quality. As depleted as we are, our midfields right now are very similar in quality. And I think that your midfield is almost, if not more, toothless than ours. And I think that we could still win potentially the midfield battle in a at Old Trafford there. So yeah, breaking you down, it is going to be a challenge. I'm not going to delude myself into thinking that we're going to steamroll you. I do think we will win. I don't think we're going to steamroll you, but you know, the absolute mouth that I've heard from certain United fans has been ridiculous. They're coming into this fixture like they're Liverpool or Manchester City. It is baffling. I'm not really sure where the confidence comes from, but you know, let them crack on, and hopefully we can use that to our advantage. Because you know, every fan's opinion sort of just transmutes onto the pitch, and the football gods think, he's been a cocky little bastard. Let's try to let's try to do one over on him, and you know, we score another 6-1. Yeah, yeah, but I do think it is going to be difficult. It's not going to be an easy game. It's going to be a scrappy game, and I think we will be victorious at the end. But we will concede. We will definitely concede. I think I'm predicting a Rashford goal if he plays. That's a very easy thing to do, but I do think a Rashford goal is a very likely prospect. Garnacho is going to be a very, very tricky customer, but luckily we do have most of our quality on our fullback positions. Pedro Porro, Destiny Udogie, both fit, both firing this season, both, in my opinion, some of the best fullbacks in the league. I really don't see, other than Trent Alexander-Arnold, who has been better than Pedro Porro and Destiny Udogie this season. I think they've been absolutely quality, and a big reason why we are where we are right now. So,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Bit to Stephanie Griffith as well, and also to Anfield Uncle Rod's. Good to see you both. Hope they're both doing well. Question, thoughts on the way both teams will link up in the game to create chances, and I think that's going to depend entirely on what the team selections are going to be, because with different team selections, the approach is probably fine-tuned to be slightly different from other lineups, and that does kind of take us on to the next segment of the show, which is the lineups / predictions. And that's going to be a difficulty to really pick out what sort of team we're going to go with, because both teams got injuries, but also got players that are out with international duties in AFCON and also in the Asian trophies. So we'll start with Manchester United is a bit more predictable, a bit more easy to guess what our lineup is going to be, because Ten Hag never really changes or surprises people that much. In goal, we're going to go with apparently the second coming of Christ, Andre Onana, who's planning to jet out straight after the Spurs game to play for Ghana the very next day.
What happened?
Well, he's apparently he was given clearance to play in this Tottenham game, and then he'll fly out to AFCON straight afterwards. God only knows why. I said, screw what the player wants. He either goes with everybody else or he stays here, and they want to cut it right down the middle so that he played against Wigan. We wanted Bayindir to play in that game, so Onana played against Wigan. He wants to play in this game, and then he's going to try and play less than 24 hours later for Ghana, I believe, in a game that they've got on Monday night, which God only knows how he's going to manage that. He probably will just get dropped for the whole tournament, and that's probably going to be what's going to happen. Ghana's probably going to be like, nah, you're messing around with us here. So we're just going to bench you for the whole tournament. Good luck to you. So of course, Onana in goal. As far as left back goes, left back position, I think Luke Shaw is questionable. He's a doubt for this game. Um, I believe Malacia is still injured, so we'll probably have. I think maybe Luke Shaw, because he is training at the moment, he probably plays at left back. If not, then it'll probably be Delo again. Delo to play at the left back position. Centre back partnership probably going to be a Varane and Evans partnership, same as what we had against Wigan. Wan-Bissaka at right back. The midfield, unfortunately, is going to have the Milky Bar kids featuring once again. You know, coming in to save the day for Tottenham. That is, you'll save the day for Tottenham. You'll end up accidentally wearing a Spurs shirt on the inside out, but it is what it is. You'll have Kobe Mainu starting next to him as well, uh, which I
He's a
think
decent little player, Kobe, isn't he? From what I've
he's
seen of it.
he's got really really good composure. I'm wary not to say get too carried away by saying, "Oh my God, Star Boy," and start making up songs about him in the shower. I'm not going to remotely try and do anything like that. Um, but yeah, really neat, tidy player. And when we need him to do the hard work, the dirty jobs, the ones that players, I don't like to get my hands dirty. Well, Kobe Minor will be happy to jump into that pit and do that sort of heavy lifting for the team. It's going to be interesting to see how he does in this game. Ahead of them, probably going to be Bruno Fernandes again. Bruno Fernandes. On the left-hand side, probably see Marcus Rashford, Garnacho maybe on the right with Hoyland up top. So they'll definitely try to abuse a bit of pace against the high line. For us, we're just going to need to start the game well, rather than start it lackluster. Because one thing we can't afford is to try and do second half FC with a goal deficit, because you're not Aston Villa, you're Tottenham Hotspur. You'll soak up pressure better, and you'll manage possession when you do get the ball better as well, compared to an Aston Villa. So, yeah, for us, we got to use that pace against the high line, but we just got to show good clinical edge in front of goal, which has not been the case this season. So, kind of living on a prayer, but you never truly know. They might come out with a point to prove. It's just one of those things. You just cannot really fully predict what a Manchester United is going to turn up. I don't know what your thoughts about your potential lineup is going to be for Tottenham and how you guys are going to play.
I think it chooses itself really at the moment. So I think left back Destiny Udogie, pretty much a shoe in. Centre back, I think Romero's fit. That's what he says. I think Romero is fit. If not, Emerson Royale. Let's see. Dragusin. I'm going to do some wishful thinking and say Dragusin at centre back with Romero. Right back, Pedro Porro. Midfield, Bentancur. Oliver Skip and Kulusevski. I think that those are literally the only options at the moment. Left, Timo Werner. Right, Brennan Johnson. And straight bang down the middle, the Pigeon.
I think it's a case of what kind of luck are these guys like Timo Werner and Richarlison going to be having when it comes to this game, because there's two specialists at missing the goal in some unbelievable scenarios, and I suppose it's one of those where you're a bit nervous that it's when you start, first chance you get falls to a Timo Werner or Richarlison, and Onana looks a bit beaten, and you're like, what's going to happen here? And then they sky it into row Z, and you think it's already started. It's
with the gun.
Yeah, hopefully that's what happens. I'm praying that the first shot I see from Timo Werner or Richarlison literally just goes into orbit, like a Harry Kane penalty at a World Cup semi-finals and all that good stuff. You know, it'd be fantastic to see, but you know, that's again wishful thinking. Um, but yeah, with the another question here: are you both confident with the defence? Not really, not overly.
No, no.
I think for Spurs, it's a case that no, we don't really know what the exact lineups are going to be with that back line, but then also the fitness. Because if Romero's still in the case that he needs to be rushed back into a team, if he gets stretched too much by a very pacey Hoyland or a pacey Rashford or Garnacho twisting and turning, if he tries to overstretch to compensate there because he's very aggressive centre back and does like to tuck himself in. And by tuck himself in, I actually mean throw himself into something. So where he might aggravate a problem. And it's and even with Mickey van der Ven, I mean, as much as he's got some pace to burn, he's got mad legs on him. But at the same time, again, do you risk it? Yes, you're potentially stretching the Spurs defence. You've got to really put yourself through the paces to compensate. Um,
Yeah,
I,
I don't see Mickey van der Ven playing this game. I don't think he's ready. I don't think Ange Postecoglou will let him, even
mm,
if he says he's fit. I don't see, and I think it would be blind negligence really to just let him play this game. I
mm,
think, this is a one of our key players. This is our core player for our system. This is a very good player. We need to
mm,
nurture him. We need to be careful with him
yeah,
because when he comes back, he has to be fit and firing for us.
mm,
We can't afford him to have him injured again. Even though we do sort of have good depth now with Dragusin coming in, he's an unknown quantity. So we need to have Van de Ven fit.
mm, absolutely. Going with Stephanie Griffith here. Evans will pocket Timo Werner.
Possibly, I could see it
Uh,
happening.
well, that's the thing. I mean, with your attack, I know your defence might be a surprise, a positive surprise for you. Your midfield might do a relatively good job. But again, like with Manchester United, when you get to the final third, you're just absolutely awful. If you've got Brennan Johnson, who you're sort of hoping probably tries and delivers his best performance to date for Tottenham Hotspur, you've got Richarlison up top that usually needs to have some real big clear cut chances made for him to actually score some goals. Timo Werner, if he's playing on the left, he's got to come a bit further in and try and compensate and get closer to our goal. I mean, Kulusevski is probably the most viable goal threat that you're going to have in your team,
I
and he's
agree.
playing in midfield, and that in and of itself could provide a problem unless Brennan Johnson does some madness down the right hand side and plays a lot of cutback passes to Kulusevski running late into the box. That's probably what a solid way of actually getting some good opportunities against Manchester United, but. Hopefully, we man up the midfield a bit and close those spaces off. Big ups to Tony
Big up
Ibarra as
to
well. Big ups, man. Cheers to you. Signature pint of chocolate milk. Mm,
I wish I
good to
had some
see
chocolate milk.
Yeah,
I don't have any at the moment. I would like some. I'm craving some.
for your debut show, you don't rock up with chocolate. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I know it's a travesty.
My midfield for United, Minu Eriksson Bruno. Now, Eriksson is a possibility. I think he is recovering
Oh,
from
really?
illness. Your defence is Aaron Bissaka, Varane, Evans, Delo, Adriano on goal, and Anthony on the left. Hoyland up top with Garnacho on the right. And potentially Martinez, Casemiro, Rashford, and McTominay on the bench. Okay, interesting. Yeah, we'll have to see. We might have a few. That's the thing. We've got a few players on the cusp of returning. There might be a few surprise names prop up on the bench. So we'll have to
I
see
don't
what
see how
goes in.
this game suits Anthony, to be honest. Though I do think that Rashford would be better suited, unless they switch positions. I don't know what Ten Hag's going to do, but
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully, if they do choose to switch positions, that it's the case that they keep switching between left wing and right wing, and
Mm.
make it a bit more unpredictable for guys like Destiny Odogi and Pedro Porro. Because I think if you do challenge those two, you can get at them. Challenge them.
Yeah.
Don't be predictable to them because they'll mop you up if you make it too predictable for them. Bit of Stephanie Griffith here. 10 likes, absolutely. Biggest to everybody who's smashing the like. Please continue to do so. And if you are also watching on playback, then continue to free hit those likes. Like United on Sunday will be free. It'll be a free hit United. Free hit United. And hopefully no pigeon dancing on Sunday. Hopefully. Christ almighty.
Well, you
So
got no
that,
sun to make Old Trafford his dance floor, just like in the 6-1, just, doing the shuffle at Old Trafford. And then
yeah.
hopefully this time we'll be doing the pigeon at Old Trafford. But yeah, I don't think it's likely he's going to score, to be honest. I really don't. I think he's going to be, I mean, in essence, he really is a sacrificial lamb in this system. And anyway, so.
Hmm. Yeah, well, we don't have a Jesse Lingard either to turn to tag opponents' stadiums as the dance floor, and literally, and now he's got bloody Paul Scholes going after him. It's just like, stop being a little turd blossom on your TikTok account and actually get to playing football like you are professionally paid to do half the time, unless you fancy being just unless he's trying to angle to be the next Fortnite skin. I mean, God only knows what his
Oh,
where his
could you
priorities are at.
imagine that? Jesse Lingard Fortnite skin.
You just see it, just that stupidity thing. Like, oh my God.
Unbelievable.
Question: do United and Spurs start the game fast paced, going at it, or building into the game, then going for it? I can see this game starting off a bit scrappy, a bit end to end, bit scrappy, a real lack of quality, and I think the second half is where you'll probably see notable breakthroughs, unless United or Spurs ultimately shit the bed, because you never know if Tottenham travel away to us like they did at Brighton. I mean, it could be a long day for either of us, and whether we expect it or not, yeah, really depends. Really, really depends. Don't know if you'd agree with that or.
Yeah, I do agree. I think our analysis so far has been very on the rails. I think
Mm,
we've been analyzing the most likely outcome and not the
mm,
most unpredictable outcomes, which is natural, which is
mm,
what everyone does, literally. But yeah, like this is football, this is the Premier League, anything can happen.
mm. Manchester United to play catch the pigeon. What we need to do is give Andre Onana um, an Olympia air rifle and start some clay pigeon shooting. Just shoot Richarlison in the kneecaps whilst he's just trying to run through a goal or something. Yeah.
Mm.
Make some good target practice. Martial won't get sent off this time. Well, I mean, it's not like it doesn't really matter if we end up getting sent off or not, because I mean, man's pretty much literally like playing with 10 men anyway when he plays. Well, if we play with Scott McTominay as well, it's 9 men we're playing with. Um, but yeah, we'll quickly wrap up the show as well with some score predictions going into this game. Knowing how the football gods operate, I'm going to say swivel on this one, football gods. I'm going to go with a 2-1 to Spurs.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with 3-1 Spurs. I
Yeah.
think you're going to get a goal. It's inevitable, and we're not keeping a clean sheet. We rarely do keep clean sheets, to be honest. Even though I say that, but Vakari, I think, has the most clean sheets. That might have changed, but last time I checked, he had the most clean sheets in the league over Onana, funnily enough. I don't know how you managed that, but you did. So, yeah, 3-1. Going to be very, I think it's going to open up as the game goes on. Second half, I think we're going to get 2 goals. First half, we may nick a goal, but I think most of the goals in this game are going to come in the second half. And it is going to be Tottenham who is victorious.
Okay. Well, you've heard it there from us. And in terms of everybody in the chat as well, if you're watching playback, do be sure to get your score predictions in, as well as your lineup predictions as well, all that good stuff, and any other thoughts that you have on the game in the comment section below. That's it from us. Big ups to Kudos for joining me on a channel debut for this Tottenham preview. If you are up for it, you're more than welcome to join in for a match reaction post game,
Yeah,
or when is most convenient for you time wise, and we'll cover all of that good stuff there. And shout us out. Where can we find you?
yeah, kudos. I've recently started my channel, I think 4 weeks ago now. So yeah, I've uploaded a few videos. I only really do video-based content. I don't really stream since I don't really think I'm good at it, nor do I really think I'm a good host, or nor do I really enjoy it. Hosting, that is. I do enjoy coming on the shows.
Hmm.
But yeah, kudos is where you can find me, YouTube. Also have Instagram, which is I will link that in my YouTube soon. And I think most of us know my Instagram anyway. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, guys. That's it from us. Do make sure to go and drop subscriptions to Kudos as well. The link to his channel is in the stream title as well, so it is hyperlinked there. If you want to sub to him, click on that. It's one click away. You'll get to his channel, and do be sure to drop him some subscriptions there, and all of that good stuff. But that's it from us for tonight. Of course, the game on Sunday, match reactions will follow on after the game on the same evening, so it'll probably be live at the same time as we are now for those match reactions. But as for tomorrow, some interesting games going on tomorrow. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of match coverage. No sign of Arsenal anywhere. They're busy living up in Dubai, rewarding failure against Liverpool and all of that good stuff. And yeah, but perhaps a transfer update video as well, or stream at some point tomorrow as well on this channel. So keep your eyes peeled, people, and make sure if you are subbed that the notification bell is switched on, so you do get the ping come out to you once there is content out there, all that good stuff. But anyways, just keep doing it. You're okay on your channel. Just okay, not great, not fantastic, not world class. No.
well,
But
at least
anyways,
he
big
isn't
ups.
blowing smoke up our bottoms. Yeah.
But no worries, man. Big ups to Ravi B. Carey as well, along with everybody else that has dropped into the stream: Stephanie Griffith, Tony Ibarra, Uncle Rods, Anthony Herbert. To which I'll be popping onto his channel after I'm done here as well. So do be sure to come join us over there. And also Football Bounce TV, or Football Bounce channel, Early Doors Football TV, and Royal Fang Division. Make sure you sub to all of those guys as well. Good content creators all over the place. So do be sure to get subbing to everybody. That's it from us for tonight. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you again, most likely here tomorrow, but if not, definitely on Sunday. So until then, ciao for now.